That way I'm kind of the biggest climber in the history of the Tour de France. Period. Huh?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Odd Tandem. Our guest today is sadly going to be the last guest of the Odd Tandem podcast. Jens and I have been doing this podcast in one form or another for almost 5 years, and we really appreciate your support over that period. Yes, I think we're both going to really miss talking to interesting people about interesting things, but we're going to go out in style with a great guest who has won stages in all 3 of the Grand Tours. He's entertained us for years and normalized the mustache look in the peloton. Magnus Cort joins us today, and we couldn't have asked for a better guest, as I know that Jens and I are both big fans. Right, Jensi?
Oh, absolutely. We are big fans of him. I mean, the style of him winning and making it thrilling and nerve-wracking, like if they're going to make it to the finish line or not. And he's a hardworking man as well. So, yeah, it was fantastic to have him. And I am actually going to drop a little tear once we closed this episode. I'm like, oh, I definitely going to miss our time together.
Yeah. We've had a great time. Thank you, Jens. Thanks to Mark Payne, our producer. Thanks to all of our Patreon members, our subscribers, the people that come up to us in the streets and thank us for what we do. You never know. It may be just a little break, but both all of us, Jens, Mark, and myself have some big projects coming up. So maybe this is just a little break, but you never know in the podcast world. But most importantly is we wanted to end on a positive note. So please sit back and relax and listen to our great episode that we recorded today. Welcome, Magnus Cort, to the Odd Tandem.
Thank you.
You know, you've had a pretty good start to the season. You're currently ranked 40th. You know, you started way back in Bessèges. You won 3 stages in El Camino there. You got 6th in Strada Bianchi, 6th in Milan San Remo. We are about 3 weeks ago. So May 1st, you finished your last race of the spring campaign before the stage races start with a 2nd place there in Frankfurt. What have you been up to since your last race on May the 1st?
Yeah, so a small break, and right now I'm in Sierra Nevada preparing for the Tour de France with pretty much half of the peloton seems to be up here.
Before we go further into a future program and whatnot, we have this tradition of quick-fire questions. 4 questions, short answers. Are you ready to actually loosen you up a little bit? You ready?
Yeah,
already. Who does wear the best facial hair in the peloton?
Oh, I almost have to say me, no?
Of course.
Yeah.
Who is the better rider, Astrid Lindgren or Hans Christian Andersen?
Astrid Lindgren, I think.
What's the favorite Danish company, Danish branded beer?
Svanike Breakaway.
I'm going to check that out. If you can choose your holiday, would that be in Norway or on a tropical island?
Tropical island.
Alrighty, good.
I'd be worried if you said Norway. I mean, I love Norway, but yeah, tropical island all the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to know, because I went back and looked at all your team photos, and I think it was around 2019 when you started sporting some facial hair. But what prompted you to do that, and who was your inspiration to start the stash?
Yeah, I don't know if I had any somebody that I really looked up to, but in the beginning I think I would like a full beard, but I couldn't quite grow it, so I was experimenting a little bit for year 2 around 2018, 19, and then I settled on the moustache. So I've had that since. Yeah.
I know the story, but why don't you explain to our listeners and viewers? For a while, you had a colored moustache. What color was it, and why was it like that?
Yeah, so that was really funny. It was blue and very bright blue, very very obvious to to see. It came really quickly about. There was a big Danish Instagram account that reached out to me before the tour stage and asked if I would color my mustache, if they could help me reach, I think it was 200,000 followers doing the tour. And it's a Danish one. They do all kind of funny things, and I didn't really think so much about it. Just said, yeah, let's go for it. And I think so they uploaded something and I reposted it before the stage, and pretty much when I finished that stage, I could see I'd already reached the target. And we hadn't even agreed on which color it had to be. So
blue. I do remember that. But I'm more interested in your training camp up there in Sierra Nevada right now. A, how's the weather? And B, when do you come down for altitude? Because I think you're going to the Dauphiné next, right?
exactly. Yeah, so I'll be coming down on the 1st. So I have a little week. I'll be in Girona preparing before. And the weather has been really, really good. I started actually my altitude block in Andorra where I live, and then I've joined the team for the last 2 weeks. But I think they had some bad weather before I arrived, so I timed it perfectly. But now we have a lot of heat, which I think for me is also important. It's hard to be training in, but I need to get this stress done in training, so I'm ready for the warm days when we get them at the races.
For the moment, it is announced that Pogacar, Jonas Vingegaard, and Remco will be there at the Dauphiné. Just me as a fan and as a commentator, do you think one of them going to go, forget about that, I'm going to go to the Tour de Suisse? I would think so, that one of them goes, you know what, I don't need this stress already before the Tour. What's your opinion about that? I'm just curious as a fan.
Yeah. No, I think it is something that they think about and maybe try to get some rumors beforehand, but I would assume at this point they have decided on the plan and they want to keep it this way, like with altitude before and maybe after. And I think it's too late to change now. That's at least what I'm guessing, but I don't have to worry about that.
Sorry, Yenzi, the start money checks have been cashed already. Those guys are going to be there for sure. Just another question about the altitude block that you're doing. Do you feel that you're a responder to altitude training? Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I think I respond really well. I maybe does not enjoy it as much. I do suffer a bit in altitude, but over the years I've learned that I can feel shit for a couple of weeks and come down and do really well. So I just have to trust that I'm doing the right thing, and maybe having the training a little bit reduced to what you could do at I can do at sea level, and then knowing that once I come down, it's gonna be fine and the legs are good.
I remember myself when I did training camps in altitude with the national team years and years ago. I would have days when I come down to the lowlands within the first week. I would feel unbeatable, and the next day I would feel like my tires are glued to the road. So if you have a day like that in a race, there's nothing you can do. Are you not nervous of that? Have you ever experienced a day where you go, oh my God, I'm just going backwards here? Did you ever had a day like that after altitude?
No, I don't think I've been really bad after altitude. I've used it a lot over the years. My home in Andorra is in 1,850 meters. So I gotta get a lot of altitude every time I have pretty much two weeks or more off. I'm staying up there for as much as I can. The funny thing I find is even if I go low in training, I feel I'm still suffering like when I'm staying at altitude, but I try to train low. It's just I can't go as hard as if I'm staying low and then you're like riding up a climb. You'll get to the same altitude, maybe 1,000 meters. And if I stay at sea level, it's I'm fine at 1,000 meters, but if I stay at altitude, let's go down to 1,000 meters. I feel like I'm still suffering, but once I come down for a few days, it's good.
Yeah, those are tricky. So, what is the altitude on the top where you're staying? And I know that Sierra Nevada, you can go down the climb. And what is the altitude down there at the bottom that you can do some of that higher intensity work on?
Yeah, so when the first descent it finishes at I think around 800 meters, and then you can go through Granada and basically descend all the way to Malaga, but that would be a really long day back up. But we stay at 2,300 meters, so it's a very long climb back home. But yeah, that's how it is.
And now that you earlier you said half of the peloton is here, not just half of your own team, but half the peloton. Every now and then you gotta come across these other riders. Are you checking? Hey, do they have a new bike? What's about their position or different helmets they wear, new shoes? Do you check the competition already, or you go, I just look the other way, I don't care?
I would check a little bit. I saw some rumors that Visma had a new bike, and I can confirm that I've seen it with my own eyes. So there's something
breaking
coming.
News here at the Odd Tandem. There's a new bike.
Probably a lot of new bikes coming for the tour now every year, but. No, then it's also being more and more popular with double training sessions in a day. So that's also something you can see on the team's note. If they're riding, which time are they riding up and down the climb? When are they leaving? Are they coming back? Are they out again? So that's also funny. No, you kind of know how long people are training for. If they are back at 5 now, it's probably 6-7 hours, and even later maybe it's a double session and so on.
I'm good with an hour and a half, 2 hours. What do you say, Jensi? That's about my max these days.
Yep, there's my pain threshold, 1 hour 30. And if it's 1 hour 45, my family goes, Dad, the dog needs to walk. You need to fix this in the garden and the carport. Fix the roof in the carport and the lights in the house. So I don't even get permission to ride longer than 2 hours.
Magnus, you're an extremely popular rider in the peloton. You've been a mainstay for over a decade now. I'm a little curious of how you got started in Denmark. It wasn't by plan, but we've had multiple Danish athletes on our recent episodes, and we just kind of realized that today, like, man, 3 out of our last 4 guests have been from Denmark. But tell us how you got your start in cycling and on your first junior club.
Yeah, so it started a little bit slowly. I'm from an island, Bornholm is the name, in the Baltic Sea. So it takes about 3 hours to arrive to Copenhagen, which is the nearest point of Denmark. My family always did a lot of sport and especially running. So I was active as a kid, but not cycling. When I was 12, I got a road bike and started riding with my dad, but did very few races in the beginning. As a youth rider, like under 15, I started. That was my very first race. I think the Danish nationals, and then under 17, I did a few more, but only a handful of races a year, since was so far to actually meet to go to the races. But I did really well. I also did mountain biking. So the first years I did both road and mountain biking, and when I got to juniors, I really focused in on riding the bike, and I was doing really well as well at that point.
And in Denmark also, you got a strong track racing program like Michael Morkov. Did you ever try that? Did you ever thought maybe that is a future for me on the track, Team's Pursuit or Madison, anything like that?
No, now I think there's 2 indoor tracks, but I didn't live close to Copenhagen at that time when I was a kid, so I didn't really have the chance to try it. I I did for 1 year live quite close to the track actually, and I got myself a track bike, but only did a few trainings. I haven't tried a single race on the track.
You got to paint a little bit more vivid of a picture for me. You live on an island 3 hours away from Copenhagen. So for you to go to a bike race, what did that entail? A bike race over in Copenhagen. I mean, did you have to wake up and get on a ferry? And I
exactly.
don't know.
Yeah. We would leave with a ferry, I think, at 6 a.m. to an hour and a half. Then you arrive in Sweden. Funny enough, that's the closest. Then you'll drive across the south part of Sweden and take there's a bridge between to Copenhagen from Sweden, from Malmö, and then from there to the race. So it's was quite the journey to get to the races. Yeah.
That requires determination to do that. That's a long journey. Something just completely off cycling. Isn't Bornholm the island where, because I do love birds of prey, isn't Bornholm the island where golden eagles and sea eagles live on the same island? Which I think is absolutely fascinating. But anyway, back to cycling. Did you quickly made it into the national team? And how was it for you then, coming from that small island, to go to other countries? Was that like, oh wow, the world is so big? Or was that not a little cultural shock to you to go with the national team, junior national team, to foreign countries and race over there?
I don't think it was such a big shock. My parents, we have been traveling, not every winter, but I think every second winter we had pretty much a holiday. So not for cycling, but just getting some heat, some sun in the winter. So I had been especially the Canary Islands, but we have also been further away in Thailand and Egypt and a little bit around in Europe. So it was not new for me to travel, and before I was traveling to bike races, I was actually running as well, and traveling with a group with young kids like myself, going to races, running races, and then in juniors the first year I was with the mountain bike national team, and I lost motivation on the mountain bike, and when that season was over, I knew I wanted to go for the road, and my dad, he forced me to call the national road coach and say that I was changing my focus, and I did that, and immediately I was invited onto the road national team, so that was good.
Yeah, and that transition into the pros went pretty quickly. I saw that you stagiaired for Green Edge in 2014, in September, and a few weeks before you won a couple stages in Tour of Denmark. So what was that transition like, and when you did get the call up to be a stagiaire for Green Edge in 2014?
Yeah, so actually already back in 2013, I won 2 stages in Tour of Denmark, and had the opportunity to turn pro already a year earlier than what I did. But at that point in time, there have been a lot of successful Danish riders, but they all seemed to struggle when they turned professional. So the federation and the team manager I had at the time, they were really careful and wanting to take good care of their talent. So they really encouraged me to take another year at continental level, and so I did. And in 2014, I had an amazing year, winning a lot of races, and I signed actually a contract with Greenish before I did the stagiaire contract and races. So that was just I think they wanted me in and getting used to the team.
And when and how or did you discover or learn what type of rider you were? I mean, we know you as a breakaway specialist. Was that always something you were good at, or you thought of yourself more of a sprinter, or maybe trying a GC, or you thought of yourself as a good climber, or it was clear for you early on, okay, breakaways is my way of winning?
No, it has changed a little bit for me over the years. Like when I was a junior, I won the peace race in Czech, which was the biggest stage race for juniors, at least at that time. And yeah, I think if you win that, you dream about winning the Tour de France. And I thought I was going to be a climber. And well, I think that the body is still developing at that age, and suddenly I found out that I was quite quick. I didn't knew that, or probably also I wasn't quick. But as I developed, I turned out to have some punch. And then when I was first pro, I think I was leaning into a sprinter, maybe not full sprint, but I usually participated in the proper bunch sprint. I was not part of the lead out, and yeah, in my soon, I think it's quite a while now, I've stayed away from the big bunch sprint. I'm still I'm helping out. Last year I've helped Kristoff to a couple of wins as the last guy, so it's not like I can't be there, but now I focus more on the smaller reduced bunch sprint or breakaways.
Well, you just mentioned your teammate Alexander Kristoff, who is let's say one of the older guys in the peloton, and he's getting very close to 100 wins as a professional. Have you guys talked about that? And would you, how cool would that be for you to be part of that lead out where he finally gets win number 100?
No, it is something that he's aware of, and he really dreams about reaching it. No, I can understand. So no, it's a big round number. But I don't think, despite the success we actually had last year, was very few times that I let him out, and he got quite a few wins out of it. It's not. We have pretty much separate programs this year, actually.
Bobby's asking about the older rider in your team. I was wondering, how is the dinner talk with the with the young kids? Are they listen to you, or do you go, nah, you're just an old man, you don't know anything about cycling? Or do you go, oh my God, Magnus Cort, the legend, is on our table? Well, how is that? Like, do you listen to you, you teach him, you tell him something, they ask you questions, or do you go, nah, he's just an old man, he doesn't even know what TikTok is?
No, I think they listen to me quite a lot. But yeah, in certain areas, I'm maybe also starting to be a little bit old school and conservative. And I think it's the same with Kristoff now. Like, we have, I don't know, done the things a lot of years now, and I'm not saying that I know how to do everything, but sometimes it can also be too much with all the numbers and data and weighing all your food and recording 1,000 measurement of yourself every day. So there's definitely some of the young guys here. They do a lot more stuff than me, but I think I can still teach them some things, and then we have some good coaches that can teach them other things as well.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. But you were 3.5 years on an Australian team with Green Edge. You were 2 years with Astana, which is more kind of based in Kazakhstan. You had 4 years with EF Education. What are they? EF Education Easy Post now. And now this year, and next year, you're on a Norwegian team, Uno X Mobility. Is there big differences between the teams nowadays, like from your first one at Green Edge to Astana to EF to Uno X, or is it just, hey, bikers are bikers and we all speak the same language and do the same things, or is there some real delineations between those different teams?
There's some differences. I think when you actually are on the teams, they are more similar than you would guess from the outside. Now it's bike riders who are sitting around the table, and we are more or less the same, I guess. But Uno X is the most different I've been on, because we have this very unique team that's only consists of Danish and Norwegian riders, which mean we all speak our mother tongue to each other, and that just brings the whole team much closer together than I've experienced on any other team, professional team. It's like being on a continental team where not that you're not friends on the big pro teams, but you really get a lot closer together here on Uno X, and it's on a training camp like this. It's like being with 10 of my really good friends. It's not just colleagues, but dear friends. Yeah.
When you joined the team, it's a relatively new or young team, Uno X Mobility. Was there like one thing where you go, oh, this is cool, I've never seen this before? Or on the other side, was there one thing you go, hey, you need to change this is not gonna work in the future? Was there like little experiences like that?
No, I think they have dialed in a lot of things. I had heard that Kristoff, he came a year before me, and is obviously at that time especially was by far the most experienced rider. So I think he came in with a couple of things that they had to change. But it's also a team that's very performance oriented. So it's not only like bringing Scandinavian riders together, but like even though on paper we are a pro team, I think we are probably one of the leading teams in certain areas of performance. And so it's also a very big and serious team. Probably we don't have like the best 30 riders, but it's the A group we have is very strong, and so when we are at the big races with the best guys, and it's just like being with any World Tour team.
I was a massive supporter of the Team 711 team growing up over here in the US, and recently you guys switched your jerseys for Liège-Bastogne-Liège to the 711 kit. What did it mean to you to wear that kit? Did you have any attachment to the team personally?
No, 711 is like just before what I can remember, and probably even before I was born, maybe. That might not be true, but I was really young then. But I was surprised actually to see how big it was. I didn't really knew that so many people would be so attached to the team. So I was impressed that they'd seen this that thing right. It was really it ended up being a very good stunt with this kit. No, it was not something that we did and it just faded away and nobody cared. But it was a big thing, so that was nice.
Well, I guess Bobby and me, we are hoping that it might, you don't have to answer the question, don't get yourself in trouble, but Bobby and me, we hope you bring it back at least for one day, maybe in the tour, just to make it, just remember the legends of 711. We hope so. As I say, you don't have to answer that. Talked about you at what type of rider you are, the breakaways, the smaller, reduced bunch sprints. I just sometimes feel you become the victim of your own success, that everybody, it's Magnus Cort, we gotta be on his wheel. And then when you're in a break, you go, no, we're not gonna work with you because you win all the time. Sagan had that for sure a few times. I had it every now and then with my breakaways. You feel that sometimes that people want to be on your wheel, but once they are there, they refuse to work with you because they're afraid of you?
I think so many of the stages that I could win could actually be the same, reduced bunch sprint or breakaway. It can kind of fall both ways. So I think that's the hardest, is if there's still two teams who's perhaps thinking, they want to control this thing for a reduced bunch sprint, then I will definitely be on the PowerPoint and the boss saying, don't let this and this and this guy go in the break, and I'm pretty sure I'll be on the list. And I think then you just need to be patient, and sometimes I can also then play the other card and say I have also a fast sprint now, so I can sit and let you guys do the job in the bunch, and then I will be ready for the sprint. But yeah, it can be hard to get in the breakaway. And it's actually something funny here on Uno X, which is it's many of the same riders who have been here for many years actually, even though they're young, but because the team has been growing since it was a continental team. Some of them they really complain about they can't get in the breakaway. Only been going for 25 minutes. It's not even started yet, the fight though. But they've been used to being this like country team or like really small pro country team, whereas like you can just go up the road now, and now like depending on who we have at the races now, we're maybe not a team they want to let up the road sometimes now, and it's like you can't attack twice and expect that the people will let you go though. It can take hours.
Yes, indeed, it does.
What is the longest time that you've witnessed before the breakaway actually establishes itself? I mean, it just seems like it's, the average speed of the first hour or two are getting so much faster than they've ever been. But do you remember a certain day where it was just like no one was getting into the breakaway for an extended period of time?
I can't now remember any certain days, but I think it's these big obvious days for breakaways in the big world tour races. Like it's not unusual now that it takes an hour and sometimes more, and at some point it's no longer breakaway, but then you're like directly racing maybe for the finish line. You don't have this period in between where things like calm down, you sit nice and quiet now, but it's just going basically all the way to the line with attacking on and off.
Do you sometimes have days where like you after a hard battle you catch the break and then you start looking around who is in there, you go, duh, it's Matthew Thunderpool in the same break, or Wout van Aert. Why are they here? Do you have ever moments like that?
Yeah, but sometimes it can also be nice because then you know that their teams are not gonna chase it down. So like with fast guys like that, it might actually be better to have them with you in the breakaway rather than having their teammates chasing you behind. And it's never gonna be easy to win. So I think no matter which way it goes, it's gotta be bloody hard every time you really try for it.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Winning is not easy, but in 2021 Tour of Spain, you won 3 stages. Was that the best you've ever felt on a bike? I mean, that must be so much fun, to win 3 out of 21 stages in the Vuelta.
Yes, I think so. I think that was probably the best form I've been on in my life, and one of those stages, the stage 1 to Cordoba, was actually a day like that where the breakaway almost never went, and it was kind of funny because I'd been in the breakaway the day before, and was caught like 200 meters to go. So I didn't jump in any moves, and move ended up going, and they were chasing them in the end, and suddenly without touching the wind at all, you came together to a reduced bunch sprint, and I was sitting there on the back just having a rest day because I went all in the day before, but got really lucky that things suddenly were together.
And another time where things just came together for you was that wonderful fairy tale start with the Tour de France in Denmark. What, you were like 3 days in a single breakaway for the KOM? I mean, you were waving at people. You became a rock star in Denmark, didn't you? For this 3 days in Denmark, you in the break in the mountains jersey. That was probably the funniest time for you in cycling, no?
Yeah, it was. It was very special. Now I'm very happy that both that I managed to do it, but also that even came up with it. Now the funny thing is, like, as a pure performance point or result wise, it's not as big as winning a stage in the Tour or even winning something in on the World Tour. No, it is nice to wear a jersey in the Tour de France, but I knew I was never there to win it and have it in Paris, so it was more of like a kind of stunt now. And I didn't know how that it was going to be as big as it ended up being, and I really enjoyed it, and it's nice now afterwards as well that so many people have noticed it, and yeah, it was it's funny. So I still hold the record for the most mountain passes passed first in the row in the Tour de France. So that way I'm kind of the biggest climber in the history of the Tour de France. Period. Huh?
That's a big title. Awesome. That is a big title.
Yeah, go back. Explain this. I haven't heard of this. You hold the record for what?
Yeah, so I also had no idea that I took it when I took it, but I passed 11 Cat 1 climbs first in a row. So I've passed 11 categorized climbs. That's over I think 3 days. So I passed every single climb, and that's the most climbs a single person has passed in a row first. So yeah.
Wow. You know, I think I know a lot about cycling, but I never even thought of that. But, you know, you said, you know, winning a jersey or having a jersey in the Tour isn't as important as a stage win, maybe on the Paul Mars, but you had it for a week. And I mean, the sponsors love that. I mean, and especially if you set some record. And who did you say held the record that you broke?
No, I don't remember. It was like a big climber from 50 years ago. So, but I'm also like laughing laughing a bit about it, because obviously, like, what I did is Cat 1 climbs, and in Denmark it's more sprints than climbs now. But so it's not like I've passed any big mountains first.
Hey, a record's a record.
Yep. And maybe you call Jonas Vingegaard, say, Jonas, you want a tip from like world-class climber? I passed 11 KOMs first. So if you want to know how that works, just call Jonas tonight later. Say, hey, Jonas, I can explain you how this works.
Yeah. Well, I'll just walk down to him. He's sitting pretty much below me.
Yep, but there you go.
Well, our producer, Mark, did a little digging to answer that record question. So you broke Federico Bahamontes.
Whoa, that's a big name.
His consecutive mountain sprint victories at 9, and that was set 64 years ago, or you broke it 64 years record. That's pretty impressive. I think, obviously, I don't know him. I mean, I know the name, but I never watched him. So just to clear that up. Thanks, Mark.
Hey, I'm talking about now the Denmark start. Can you actually go to the movies in Denmark or go to a restaurant, walk the streets without getting recognized all the time?
Yeah, I think when I'm at home on Bornholm, people they know who I am and have known me for many years, so they are not surprised to see me around. So if it's more if I'm at some small place somewhere else, and then people will come up and say, "Oh, what are you doing here?" Because then, I don't know, if they feel like I intrude on their little thing. No, if I'm at some smaller city, then they're not afraid to come and ask and say hello and ask for a photo.
Jeez, yeah. Enjoy that when it lasts, or not enjoy it when it lasts, whichever you see. So we've been talking a lot about biking. And when you're not at a training camp, when you're not being recognized on your hometown streets, what do you like to do? How do you just detach from cycling? Do you have any special interests or hobbies?
Yeah, so I live in Andorra, and there I don't really feel that I get recognized. We're also quite a few professional riders, so there you can. I think everybody who's into cycling, they're used to seeing pros around. But I really enjoy getting out in the mountains and hiking, and even bringing the tent and go for a night. But during the season, I can't really do that. So I focus all my energy on the training and recovery. But I really enjoy it in the off season.
And what kind of music do you like? What's your preferred genre of music, or your favorite band or artist?
Of music, it's pretty much just Danish music. I don't know why actually, because yeah, after being now I'm kind of almost back on a Danish Norwegian team, but yeah, so many years living abroad now. My phone and laptop. It's actually I changed it into English because it was easier with all the text and emails coming in. But I don't know. I enjoy Danish music but before, yeah, so that's rock, hard rock, and but before race, I like some techno as well to get pumped.
One funny thing that I heard that you've done in the past is that you know, because bikers are in a different hotel room every night. And some are really good and some are really bad. And you had done like a little series where you rated some hotel rooms. I'm just wondering, because like Jens and I have been retired for a while and we had to stay in some flea bag hotels, as we say over here in the US, quite often. Has the quality of hotel rooms changed for the better, hopefully, since you started racing until now?
Uh, I don't know if, yeah, in that, what is it now, 10, 11 year span, I'm not really sure I can feel a big difference, but I'm sure like since you've raced, I'm sure a lot of hotels have gotten air conditioning, which is, especially like doing the Tour de France, is an important thing to have. Yeah.
I guess also Bobby and me, we had to eat at the hotel. So, they would come, the race organizer would go to the hotel and say, hey, you got to feed 8 or 9 bike riders. So here you have $100 or whatever. You have to feed them with $5 or €5 per head. So that's why we got sometimes this average food. Let's call it average food, because they only had $5 to serve. I believe having your own cook makes a huge difference, right? Having your own cook with you.
Oh, it does indeed a massive difference. I think especially when you are in the Grand Tours, because fueling is yeah, almost the most important thing, and not only like off the bike, which is very important, but especially like we see as well in the last 5-6 years how the focus has also changed to the on-bike fueling, and how much you can actually absorb doing the races and also off the bike. And then it seems almost like the more you can eat, the more you can actually produce. So and it is very important that you like what you're eating, otherwise it's impossible to get that many calories on board.
Jens used to get most of his calories from yogurt. He'd just sit there and there'd be like, peel the skin off the custard and he'd probably eat 6 of them. But I don't know if that'd be allowed these days, Jenzy. You seem to burn it off pretty quickly and easily back in the day. You're 32 years old now. 11 years so far in the peloton. How much further do you want to go? Are you kind of like right in the middle, or are you already thinking, wow, this sport is changing so fast that that maybe you need to find something else to do, or you want to find something else to do? Because I retired at 36, and I probably should have retired at 35, but like 32, it sounds young to me. But when you look at all these young riders coming up, they probably look at a 32 and 36-year-old and say, oh my gosh, those guys, they're old. But where are you in your career trajectory right now? Are you happy in the peloton? You want to stay there longer, or do you feel that the days are winding down a little bit?
No, I'm happy. So I also have another year with UNOX next year. So I think about a year's time from now, I have to think about the next contract. But I've had last year was probably my best year on the bike. As if you look at points, maybe if you look at like just take the biggest wins, it wasn't. But in terms of points, it was the best. And this year is also up there. So I think as long as it's going this direction, it will also be difficult to stop.
Well, my tip is keep riding as long as you can, because even though sometimes the kids might laugh at you because you're too old, but you laugh at them all the way to the bank because you still have a contract. Keep riding. Life after cycling, it is different. It is really different. I mean, you race Tour of Denmark, 10,000 people yell, Magnus Cort. That is like cut off the day after you retire. And it's challenging, because it feels good that people yell your name, and that might be gone the day you retire. So enjoy it as long as you can. Keep riding, keep riding, keep riding. But since Bobby talked about, cycling has been changed, I'm always curious, if you could freely choose, would you always want to race in this time and period, or would you go, I would love to race Jacques Anquetil, Eddie Merckx, or I would love to race Rolf Sørensen like 20, 30 years ago? Would you ever want to change and race back then with these people, or you go, no, I'm happy where I am with my carbon bike. I don't want to go back 30 or 60 years on a steel bike. I'm just curious, how do you look at that?
I think with the knowledge we have now, it's sometimes you think, I wish I could just race just 10 years ago in the beginning of my career. I would win so many bike races. So, but I think if you go back 10 or 20 years without the knowledge you have now, I think it would be the same. No, it is still a level playing field. The field has just changed a little bit, but we play on the same field still for sure. So it's all the same.
Well, you're living like a monk up on top of Sierra Nevada, making all these sacrifices, kicking your knowledge to the younger guys on the team, having fun with your countrymen, speaking in your native tongue. What do you want to come out of this? Like, what objective, what goal do you have? What race would you like to win coming out of this training block that you're in right now?
Yeah, so the Tour de France is the big goal, and to win a stage there, that would be huge. That's a big goal I have for this year.
Magnus, have you ever raced over here in the U.S.?
Yeah, I did Maryland and also California once.
Okay. Well, if you don't have anything else going on, we have the Maryland Cycling Classic again this year. So I know your team has been invited and is coming to the race. So I hope to see you there. It's we have very few big UCI one-day races, but we'd love to see you over here for that and have the American fans cheering your name. But Magnus, thank you so much. I know it's getting late there. You're on top of a mountain. You want to get your beauty sleep because you probably have a huge day of training tomorrow. So thank you very much for coming on the Odd Tandem today, and good luck in your quest to get those goals that you just mentioned to us today.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for watching the podcast. If you enjoyed our chat with Magnus, and since we're not making any more episodes of this podcast, why not check out our playlist of episodes by clicking right here.
And special thanks to every one of our Patreon members who backed the podcast.